You're listening to Life Check Yourself with life coach, transformational leader, and dating and relationship badass, Marni Battista. Every week, you'll get the raw truth from top experts and real people on the important life and love issues you want to know about. So, if you're ready to life check yourself in your relationships, your career, and the areas of your life that matter most to you, and you're not afraid to be called out on your, stuff, then you're ready for what's next.
Life Check Yourself with Amy Leigh Mercree. How to manifest anything you want. Welcome to another episode of Life Check Yourself. Today, I have Amy Leigh Mercree here. She is a best-selling author, holistic health expert, and medical intuitive. Sounds interesting? Well, stay around. She has over 23 years of medical intuitive experience. She's on a mission to teach people how to raise their vibration, live happier, healthier lives. Her upcoming book, Alchemy, learn to sense energy fields, interpret the color spectrum, and manifest success. She's a fellow Hay House author. You know what? Our books are probably coming out like a week apart, Amy.
Yay!
So, yeah, I'm so excited.
Exciting. Alchemy came out in February.
Oh, in February 24. Okay, mine's coming out in February 25. So you're
amazing.
You're a year ahead of me.
I have an Oracle deck that's going to come out in 2025, so we can connect about our books then.
Okay, I love that. Well, I just love people that are here to make an impact in a bigger way, and we're going to hear all about that. We can talk also about your Oracle deck, and I know that you've authored like 18 books. You've got lots of decks, journals, crystals, mindfulness, meditation. She's got it all.
Fun
stuff. So let's talk. Well, first of all, I'm actually just curious. What's your new deck about? Like why did you?
Well, my new deck won't come out until the end of 2025, so it's still TBD. But I have a deck that came out in January called Blissful Bath.
Internet.
Oh, internet's not behaving.
Yeah. Nope. I was like, internet
behaves.
It was storming, so
okay.
Anyway, carry on. So I said, what about your new deck?
So my new Hay House deck will not come out till the end of 2025. So that is still in progress. But I do have a deck that just came out in January 2024 called Blissful Baths.
Tell me about that.
It is so much fun. So it's 40 different cards with different categories: energy, relaxation, intention. And then every card has a little picture. This is the bright mind card if you're watching the video. It has a mantra like intention. It has an activity that you do, kind of like a ritual. It has a list of ingredients that tells you the properties. So it really lets you take an intentional bath, and it's all about the self-care and relaxation side of things, because we don't really do that. In my work as a medical intuitive, I see a lot. I'm very into traditional Chinese medicine. I use it a lot in my work. And I see a lot of basically yin deficiency syndromes because we live in a very yang society. So what a bath does is it allows you to slow down and take some time and bring some yin into your life. A lot of times we take these baths at the end of the day and they promote sleep, which is the ultimate yin activity. That's a way we can prevent and counteract a lot of yin deficiency syndromes in our very yang society by just taking a nice bath.
I love it. Okay, so let's go. Let's back it up. So for those of you who are like, what's yin and yang again? Let's define that, and then I want to talk more about this medical intuitive and how you do how that applies to all our stressed out, overwhelmed listeners.
I mean, the whole the way I think of yin and yang, I mean, if we want to be heteronormative about it, we would say yin is the feminine and yang is the masculine. It doesn't necessarily have to be that, though, and it's not always that in the body. We have, everything within us. We can think of yin as feeling and being, and then we can think of yang as thinking and doing. So we need both. We need all of that. In the body, from a traditional Chinese medicine and a Taoist 5-element standpoint, the yin is the foundational element that supplies the energy for the yang, as well as the other qi and much more. So there's all kinds of different meridians and things and forces in the body in TCM. But we need that yin foundation. So a lot of the common ailments that I hear about that people don't find relief for, like tinnitus is a big one. Like, yeah, so many people have tinnitus. There's probably some non-native EMS cause with that as well, but it's also a yin deficiency issue. So when we supply the body with more yin in such a fast-paced yang society, think how everything's going, thinking, doing, we've got devices in our faces 24/7, everything's very yang. We go into yin deficiency unless we, a lot of cases, consciously bring that back. We can do that with baths, sleep, meditation, yoga nidra, mindfulness, slowing down, stretching, relaxing. I mean, there's plenty of yin activity, swimming, just things that bring us into feeling and being, and then resting, basically.
So what do you say to someone who's like, I love this for you, but I don't have time for this?
Right.
Because all these things that you're describing, I feel like I've had to understand how powerful they are to change my life, to make them as strong as have the need, or first of all, even to be aware that it's a need, to where, I'm like, I do this like brushing my teeth. But I think when someone's starting out, they're like, girl, I'm just making lunches. I got to be at work at 8. Like, I can barely wake up. So how do we start?
So small steps are bigger than, sometimes people like, I'm not a big fan, for example, of New Year's resolutions, because people are like, I'm going to make this huge, big change for the rest of my life. It's going to be this big thing. It's hard to keep consistent with that. But small things like saying, okay, I am going to set an alarm that at 9 o'clock goes off, and I turn off my phone or I put it away, and I go to bed and I read paper instead of look at a screen, which will allow me to fall asleep. That one thing. Or I'm going to take a neurological based magnesium powder every night before bed to help me sleep more deeply. Little things. I'm going to take 10 minutes after I drop the kids off at school, where I sit in the car at the park or something, go to the park, sit on a bench, close my eyes, and just breathe. I leave my phone in the car. I connect with nature. Small, consistent things are what make that difference, because as you know, we create our reality. And I'm a big believer in, if we choose to take 100% responsibility for ourselves, then we can choose to make these changes. Now, are there sometimes forces outside of our control? Of course.
Yeah, right.
But mostly not. Even if we have all these circumstances that we could consider excuses, there's probably another way to take some time for ourselves. There's probably another way to provide ourselves with self-care. We just have to make that choice and take responsibility for it.
I think this is so huge, because I was working with someone most recently who started like that, right? Like, I can't, you don't understand. Yeah. And one of the things that I really want to point out about how this impacts all of us is not setting boundaries, right? Like not making a choice to do that. And what you said is like, it's an excuse, or it's a reason why not. But how do we start to look at these things from a yin perspective instead of like, you suck? Right. But how do we start to sort of say, like, maybe there is some accountability I need to take around saying that I don't have time for these things. These things don't work for me. Like, what do you say to people like that, as I put my glasses on so I can see you better?
First thing I say is usage of the affirmative statement, I love and accept myself unconditionally. Because that's the first thing. And that's sometimes easier said than done. So putting statements like that on the bathroom mirror, putting them as our screensaver, like really integrating those. I make myself hypnosis audios. They say things like that. Programming yourself. Okay, first of all, I love and accept myself unconditionally. So that just takes all the pressure off, because nobody's perfect. Everybody's going to have issues. That's the first thing. So just take that pressure off. And then when you do love yourself, it's easier to set boundaries, because you can put some conscious attention on identifying, okay, there are things where I overgive, I leak my energy. I don't, through loving myself, put myself maybe first. And I'm going to choose to begin to change that, which could be, people demanding your time and expertise without paying you if you're an entrepreneur.
Yep.
That could be people expecting you to do things, from a labor standpoint. Like I know a lot of people who end up like volunteering for 25 things with their kids.
Yeah.
Well, not that that's not great. I want you to give freely and without expectation of reward when your cup is full. But if your cup isn't full, you're not serving anyone. It's kind of like the metaphor of a plane crash and putting on your oxygen mask before you put your oxygen mask on other people. You've got to nourish yourself. You have to take that responsibility and that care of yourself because you love yourself. So I think the first thing is drilling home that affirmative statement with yourself all the time.
I love this. So whether I'm hearing it the way you intend or not, but this all sound like when I think of like the title of your last book, this Aura Alchemy.
Yeah.
Right. Like this is like, to me, that means like there's this like blending or harmony or finding out what's the mix. Is that?
Yeah.
So, okay, cool. So let's talk about that. So educate us first of all about auras and how this all ties into the alchemy of your yin and your yang.
Yeah, it does. So I define auras as biologically generated electromagnetic fields around all living things that are made of subatomic particles called photons that comprise light and electricity. So the composite energy field of the movement of all the photons, which are just particles of light, like your thought, everything that's happening in the body is the result of the movement of photons. Moving the arms, breathing, involuntary things, everything is the movement of photons. They all are creating a field. They are electromagnetic force. They are an electromagnetic field while also being light and while also being electricity. They create a field around each muscle fiber, each nerve fiber, everything. And the composite of that biologically generated field extends out around you about 3 feet, and that's your aura. Mm-hmm. So to kind of go back to our self-love-ish topic that we were kind of starting with, we have a lot of exercises in the book that, first of all, teach you how to perceive your aura, understand aura colors, textures, spatiality, what it all means, how it works. We also have exercises about owning your personal space. So when you own your space, the energy of your body within your physicality, and then the aura around you, and you also own the energy of your life, your car, your house, your affairs, you imbue it with your high vibrational essence, nothing else comes in. It's the energetic manifestation of great boundaries.
Wow. I love that. Like every single thing you said, I was like, yeah, that's cool. One thing I want you to put this in your terms. So I talk a lot about, like we have our essential self, we have our soul, right? And then it gets like buried with all the yang energy, right? Of doing and achieving and people pleasing and all those things. Yeah. And then people are asking me, like, how do I manifest? How do I, and what is energy? And so how do you sort of link those two things so that people understand that this idea of your aura and this frequency and all these things, it's not like magic. It's like
around all living things.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just we all have it. Can you kind of elaborate why that matters and like how empowered we are around it?
We are empowered, and in the book, through the process of like learning about it and all the different particles and what they are and everything, and then how to see it, then we land in part 3 of the book after all the things, the colors, the Taoist side, the Vedic side, the shamanic side, because that's my training. Then we land in the alchemy, which is how we manifest with our aura. And the way I like to start that conversation is that we are all human projectors. So our internal state and our vibratory frequency extends out around us and creates our reality. Now imagine our aura is the lens through which it extends. So if we are to clear it, and then charge it with whatever we desire, the frequency that's coming out of us and manifesting out, extending out into our reality can be exponentialized. And that's how we alchemize our aura for large scale manifestation. And I am a living testament of this, and so are many of my clients.
I think that's so cool because I was talking to my daughter who's like in her 20s. I have all these amazing circumstances that just sort of showed up in my life recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I totally manifested that shit. And she was like, right? And she was like, what does that mean? You know, what does that mean exactly? But what I want to say about it is that, and I know there's, you know, so many like trends on TikTok about lucky girls and this and that and all that. But I think the thing that I want to point out, what you said, that's really 3 things. I think you said, own it, clean it, clear it, project it, right? Charge it, I think you said.
Yeah, and then exponentialize it.
And then make it bigger. Okay, so when you say like, what's first? So cleaning it, clearing it is probably some of the first work that we need to do. Once we like, if you buy in and you're with me, and you're like, okay, Amy, okay, Marni, I have an aura, fine, let's go to the aura wash. What do I do?
Drinking the Kool-Aid. How do I clean this thing up?
How do we get a housekeeper or go to hold on, put it in the dishwasher?
Yes. So in the book, I take you through like every method of cleansing: sound clearing, smoke cleansing, salt cleansing, egg cleansing, energetic clearing, shamanic cleansing. I mean, just everything you can think of. Or I can give like an example, maybe.
Let's do an example for our listeners that they could maybe either they could think about. They could do, or they could find someone to help them like you.
Yeah, exactly. And they can find many ways, you know, in depth in the book and everything too. So I think a really great thing that everybody can do tonight or whenever, you know, is salt cleansing. So I have a pretty specific method that I use for that. I suggest you do that probably in the shower, just because it's kind of messy. You do it outside on pavement. I wouldn't do it on grass or vegetation that you want to keep growing because it may not work well for vegetation. So let's say you stand in the shower, it can be off, and you get ideally some untreated sea salt. You can use Redmond salt as well, real salt. You can also use like just the untreated big thing of salt from Trader Joe's or whatever. It's just
what about like Himalayan pink
Himalayan, any of it.
Okay.
Any of it's great. With the sea salt now, for my medical intuitive clients, I'm recommending the Redmond real salt because now in some of the Celtic sea salt, which I loved, we are finding microplastics.
Oh.
For this, it doesn't matter as much because you're not eating it. So if you have it, maybe use your... and I love Celtic salt, so please, I'm telling them, I'm not trying to say anything bad. I'm just, you know, I don't know how they're going to get those out. Yeah. So a nice big amount of salt. You're just going to go ham with the salt. I love it. You'll stand there, and the reason... So salt cleansing has many cross-cultural ancient traditions. It's very common. It does pick up and then release and clear denser energy. It also, because it's sodium chloride, it provides ionization potential, electrolyte potential. So the way it interacts with other atoms lets things cleanse, basically. Then also, from a traditional Chinese medicine standpoint, our immune system is based upon something called our Wei, W-E-I, Qi, which basically means external Qi. So that governs...
Explain what Qi is, just for someone who's like, I'm a woo-woo 101 winner.
Yeah, that's a good point. Qi is just overall energy. So in traditional Chinese medicine and Taoism, we have the yin and the yang. We also have the Qi. We also have something called the Jing, but that's all neither here nor there. So the Qi is just our overall energy. So the Wei Qi is the energy that governs our immune system. So if you are exposed to an illness or a sickness, you can also go home and do this process and bring your Wei Qi to the surface to keep it out.
Got it.
Now, also think about what we were talking about. Wei Qi from an emotional, mental, spiritual, energetic perspective is also our buffer between us and the world. So it strengthens our boundaries and clears them.
Love it.
But the way we bring Wei Qi to the surface is through using salt.
Okay.
So we take our big thing of salt and we just just go to town, close your eyes, keep your mouth closed unless you want to have a little bit of it in your mouth, which is kind of nice. You just go to town, pour it all over your head, just lots. And this is the best remedy for a headache, by the way.
Love it.
This is how you can clear a headache like that. So just just be extra with it. You can pour it on your face, really keep your eyes closed if you want. Head, back of the neck, rub it in, pour it, on your neck, collarbone, everywhere. Scrub the whole body with the salt, like really go heavy.
And we're dry while we're doing
We're dry.
We're dry. Okay.
Under your underarms, on
The dry rub.
Yeah, dry rub. Don't put it in mucous membranes. So don't put it up your nose. Don't put it in sensitive areas. It won't hurt, but just don't scrub that area.
Yeah.
But just go heavy with it. And then when that feels complete, all you have to do is turn on the shower and have a rinse. If you have like long hair like you and I, you can wash and condition. You might use extra conditioner. It kind of makes like beachy waves.
Right. Okay.
You could just rinse and you'd have beachy waves too if your hair is long. And then all of the salt as well as the chi just goes down the drain. And if you have much dry skin, you might just do a lotion when you get out of the shower. You can see most people don't need it because that wei chi and the electrolyte balance actually restores some of the skin's natural layer through
amazing
acid electrolyte balance and the electronegativity of the sodium and the fluoride and the salt, which is a bunch of particle physics and chemistry, but good stuff. So that's just an awesome way to cleanse. And then after you do that, perhaps after you have your rinse, before you get out of the shower, you could choose an affirmative statement with which you want to fill your aura, to charge it. You could repeat the word joy over and over. I see joy as the highest vibration in the known universe. You can just say joy, joy, joy. You can say, I am joyful wealth. I love and accept myself unconditionally. My life is filled with abundance, joy, success, and I allow it to extend out to others, whatever you want. And then just give it a little charge.
I think that's so great. So when you're doing that, is someone said, because can't you soak in bath salts or Epsom salts or something? What's the difference? Is that similar or is it just not as strong?
Yeah. So table salt is sodium chloride. That's our clearing one. Epsom salt is magnesium sulfate. It's also great. That's a muscle relaxant. It will help you sleep. You could soak. You could do the same thing. It would be similar. Then the energy would kind of release as it went down the drain. You can use more salt through the pouring on. And I kind of think of like the shower as just really like loosening it out.
Right.
As opposed to sitting in it. But then it drains. So you could.
I feel like I'm going to go take them. I'm going to take the bath in the Epsom salt. Then can I do it wet? Can I put salt on after?
Yep.
Okay. I'm soaking and then I'm salting.
Yeah. And then rinse.
For sure. Rinse.
Do a good rinse to really let it all go. And
that's so great.
If it gets dry, throw a little conditioner in.
Okay. So that's how we clear it. And then those affirmative statements are sort of like infusing it and charging it. Yeah. And then so how do you maintain? Is that something you're maintaining? Is it something people need to be doing all the time? Or is it like when you feel shit's not going your way? Like, is there a preventative way? How do you kind of include this in your life?
Sort of as needed. Although, like I said, the wei chi, bring it to the surface in times of exposure to physical, emotional, mental, spiritual toxins, or, if you want. Now, I'm an HSP, a highly sensitive person. I'm sure lots of us are who are listening. So we benefit from that because we pick stuff up,
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of a nice thing to do periodically. I keep some salt just in the bathroom and just do it periodically, but you can do it as needed. And, the other cleansing methods are in the book as well. And then, the affirmative statement is like a great way to just set it and forget it. But you could be repeating that if you have like a thing for the week that you're saying or the month or just an intention. I like to put those on the bathroom mirror so I read them every day.
So great. I love that.
And then in the book, we go really deep and extensive. I have a process in there that's kind of complicated. It'll be hard to explain it all, but it's called the neutrino aura manifestation process.
Yeah.
That uses these neutrino particles. It's something that that came to me in a shamanic journey. And after you do a cleansing like this, then if you do a process like that, takes maybe 20 minutes, you can do some really extensive manifestation. And I've seen just absolutely tremendous results with that too. So it's a good time to manifest.
Ladies, get the book. Let's all have that book.
Yeah.
So fun. My last question for you is this. So I feel like a lot of people, as we get older as well, like there's like little health stuff that happens. I mean, little and big, but there's like menopause stuff. There's like joint. There's, everyone's trying to like be in my DM selling me collagen and
I know
all these things, which is great or whatever it is. But when you think about some of the stuff that you see as a medical intuitive and like what are some of the things that people can start to look at as they're getting inundated with Facebook ads, right?
Right.
I know you just say menopause and like, you're going to have.
The robots are always listening.
They're listening a lot. I'm just going to start saying shark diving.
I know.
See what happens.
Like I say weird things and then I get, you get ads for it.
Yeah, totally. Okay. So what do we, so as a medical intuitive, how can you take this and sort of start to apply it, or what are some things that you should be looking at?
So I have some books that I like to recommend that can help us educate ourselves. And, I think sometimes people get intimidated, like, oh gosh, I got to read all these books and I have to like remember everything. I don't care if you listen to the audiobook, like just get some of it into your consciousness.
Right.
That's all you need to do, really. So as far as the hormonal side, there's a couple great books. Our publisher, Hay House, has The Secret Female Hormone by Dr. Kathy Maupin. That's one of my all-time favorite books for anybody who is postmenopausal, menopausal, or even perimenopausal to understand.
Yeah.
Secret female hormone is testosterone. And we always want bioidentical hormones. If we do hormone replacement, we do not want synthetic hormones.
Yeah.
Functional medicine doctors, Institute of Functional Medicine is a great resource if you're looking for help with that. I always tell my medical intuitive clients that I'm not a doctor. Everything I share is for informational purposes, and it's not meant to replace the advice of a health practitioner, by the way.
Love that.
Another book that I love, which I think is really crucial as far as the epigenetics side of things, is the book Dirty Genes by Dr. Ben Lynch. He also has the company Seeking Health. So he's identified about 6 to 10 of the big gene mutations that we run into. And he's got a quiz in there, and then you can kind of look at what you can do for that. I think that's a tremendous way to optimize our health beyond just the usual take a vitamin type stuff, like to really hone in on what's happening in the body in ways that we can optimize our genes. And the thing I will say is in my medical intuitive work, we can change our genes at will as we choose. We do bring some things in with us, and that also is in conjunction along with the genetics, with the ancestral density, karmic density, things like that. These things can be cleared. We can change our genes, and we can take full responsibility, like we said, and shift anything we want most of the time. The third book I love and recommend, if we're talking about like just pinnacle things for your health, is Dr. Daniel Amen's Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. Again, there's some quizzy stuff in there, so you don't have to read every chapter. But if you see what might be going on with you from a brain standpoint, they give really great nutritional and supplement-based advice that you could start with there too. So those are the things I recommend. As far as if you want to improve your health, don't feel like you have to read the whole of every book. Just skim it, especially with the second two, Dirty Genes and Change Your Brain, Change Your Life. You don't need to read all of it. You'll do the quiz or the quizzes, and then you'll read parts that apply.
Love that so much. Oh my gosh. You are a treasure trove of knowledge and you guys should watch this on YouTube because she's crushing it with this crushed velvet pink. So I'm like, I want.
It's very in, right?
I know, here I am. I'm like all in my cabin wear. I'm not in Colorado. It is cozy. It was such a beautiful day this morning. Now it's totally cozy. It's Colorado rain. So ladies, definitely check out Aura Alchemy in the show notes. Get very excited about the new deck coming out. I love the theme today was water, right? Like how we water. And so I'm like, take the bath, bath deck, do the intention, take the shower with the salt yourself. Like this is the new way to go to the spa.
Make a home spa.
I love it. A home spa day. Thank you so much for being here. It's so lovely to meet you and have you here. Ladies, the name of the show is Life Check Yourself. You hear me say it every time, but really important. Amy, like right at the get-go said, ultimately it's about taking responsibility and not making your excuses. Why not? I said something the other day, instead of waiting for one day, right? Why not make today day one? So life check yourself.
Love it.
Get the book, do something, but make a change because you deserve it. You can follow me all over socials. Marni Battista _ I have a new Instagram called Burnout Solutions, Facebook. Let us know how we can help you. We love you and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Hey, thanks for tuning into today's show. So if being in an intimate relationship in which you feel 100% seen, heard, and accepted by a high caliber man is a priority for you right now, and you're interested in seeing if you're a fit for working with me and my team at Dating with Dignity, here's what I want you to do. Just head over to DWD VIP, that's D as in dating, W, D as in dating, VIP.com, and book a call to speak with my team. We'll get on the phone with you for about 60 minutes, and you'll get crystal clear on what's stopping you from finding true love right now. We'll also take a look at what you want to create, what you want your whole life to look like when you're able to finally be fully expressed as a woman in a healthy relationship with an incredible guy. And if we can help you get from where you are right now to where you want to be, we will show you the fastest path possible that makes sense for you to do that. We help smart, successful women all over the world solve this one missing piece in their life so they can finally have it all. So to see if we can help you do the same thing, head over to DWDVIP.com. I'm Marni Battista, and let's talk soon.